Hey, Shad here with Speed Addicts, the fastest growing gear site on the web, and today we're going to uncrate the Fox Racing V3 and V3 RS. What's up, Speed Addicts fan? Before we get into the goods from Fox Racing, their highest end helmets, before we do that, do us a favor, subscribe to the channel. That will help us keep you up to date and making excellent buying decisions on all of your gear. Also, while we're talking about shopping, you knew I was gonna ask, if you're gonna buy a new helmet, gear, parts, we got it all at speedaddicts.com. Down there somewhere in the description, there'll be a link that'll take you specifically over to the Fox V3 and V3 RS helmets over at Speed Addicts. Remember, we've got a 90-day return policy, free return shipping, and we just make it real easy, risk-free to check out a new lid. We've also got all those other parts and accessories for your next two-wheel adventure. And if you're in SoCal, last thing, remember, Speed Addicts Superstore now open in Orange County. Come on down, check out the world's greatest helmet selection. We've got apparel, boots, e-bikes, all sorts of cool stuff. Come down and say, what's up? Here we have it, the Fox V3 helmet. The V3 is Fox's top-of-the-line motocross racing helmet. So they have three models. They have the V Core. That is their least expensive helmet, starting at well under $200. It's polycarbonate, and in my opinion, the fit is a little too round for a lot of intermediate oval heads. We've had some issues fitting that helmet. Then you step up to, still not a bad helmet for the money, but then the V1 is the middle of the Fox Racing lineup. Now, the V1 fits great. It's right over $200, $209 if you're trying to save money. That's the one I would recommend because it fits great. It fits significantly better than the V Core. We have video on the V1 as well. Still a polycarbonate shell. It's also significantly lighter than that V Core. And then you step up to the Fox Racing Mac Daddy. This is the V3. Now, the V3 comes in two configurations. The standard V3, like I have on the sides here, this is the V3 composite shell. And then they have their super high-end V3 RS, which is a carbon fiber shell. The standard glass composites are going to start at around $379 to $399. And then if you step up to the V3 RS, which is their highest end helmet with the carbon fiber shell and an improved Mips system, this one's gonna start at $599 and go up to about $649 for graphics. This one is kind of this two-face carbon. They've got that big carbon fiber chip instead of your standard weave configuration. It's real good. I like asymmetric helmets like this. I think that they just bring something special to the table. So the decision for you to make, is it worth the extra $200 to step up to the V3 Carbon? You're gonna save a few ounces. It is noticeably lighter. These helmets, the standard V3 composite helmets, are just at 3, if not like 3.1 pounds. And then you get into the V3 Carbon, the V3 RS, this is gonna be just under 3 pounds, and it is noticeably lighter when you pick it up. So you're gonna get that weight savings, but then you're also gonna notice is that this helmet, the other big thing you're getting, is going to be this two-layer Mips system where the EPSs are actually two layers that float on each other. So that is going to do, it's gonna have a bigger impact on rotational energy management compared to the standard Mips, like one-layer system that we'll show you in the standard V3 here. So you get the upgraded Mips, you get the carbon fiber. Otherwise, these helmets are pretty much blow for blow identical here. So they're both gonna be DOT as well as the new ECE 2206. Now, ECE 2206 is the latest European standard. It's a more stringent standard than the US Bell or the US DOT standard. Okay, so what you're gonna expect is that new standard is pushing the helmet manufacturers to make safer helmets. So when you see the dual homologation, both the DOT in there and that ECE, you know that the company is pushing for the best protection they can provide. And then you also have the Mips. So Fox is kind of covering all their bases there. It is, like I said, Mips equipped, and when we take the helmets apart, we're gonna show you the difference between the RS and the standard V3 helmets. In terms of the fit, I mentioned the V Core helmet seems to be fitting us a bit on the round side. I have a very standard intermediate oval head shape, and the V the V core kind of hits my forehead a little bit. The V1 is a perfect fit. And then this one is somewhere in between. If you have a long oval head, this is probably not going to jive with you. It's kind of like 50-50. Folks with intermediate oval heads, a lot of them love the fit, and some of them say, it's a little round-ish, just a touch, and it's just giving me a little bit of pressure on the forehead. So that is our main drawback on this helmet. But if it fits you, it's really a tough helmet to beat because it's bringing all that protection. It is extremely lightweight, and damn, it is good looking. Fox knows how to make cool looking stuff. Their campus is right down the street from us here in Orange County. And if you go over there, if you get the chance to at some point, they have some like a showroom that's open to the public. Go check it out. It is a badass place, and it's just an inspiring place to be with really high-end designers doing their thing. So the V3 is just really dramatic with the way that they've shaped the shell. The amount of ventilation is extreme. Okay, so we have big vents blown through this whole thing that we're going to show you. But before we get into the ventilation, 5 shell sizes. That's also another premium feature when you're paying for a premium helmet. More shell sizes means you're not going to be wearing more helmet than you need to. Cheap helmets will have 1 or 2 shell sizes, and that means the guy in the medium is wearing the same shell as the guy in the 2 extra large. And you can imagine that results in the jack-in-the-box syndrome, okay? More weight, more resistance, just a sloppy look and feel. Whereas with a higher end helmet like this with 5 shells, you're gonna get a more contoured, closer fit no matter your size through the range. It is expensive to produce more molds to do that. So just keep that in mind. That's one of the things you're paying for. Extra small through 2 extra large with use sizes available. So if you got a Grom who's going hard out the track, you wanna step it up, it's nice that they have the use sizes for the young folk, okay? Remember, when you're shopping for gear online, we know sometimes you don't get that fit right the first time. By the way, this helmet, we found it to run true. I talked a little bit about the shape, but in terms of running too big or too small, we found it to run true. So go by the sizing chart that we have, and you should be in good shape. If you decide the helmet shape is not for you, doesn't work out, you need to move up or down, our team will take care of you with no-cost returns. If you live in the lower 48 states, we have a self-service returns portal where you can get a free label, get the helmet back. Just make sure it's unused in the original packaging, and we'll hook you up. Okay, back to the helmet, the ventilation. So, mega ventilation. Big brow vents blowing right through the channeled EPS that's been smartly engineered to get the cool air onto your dome, cool down that brain so you don't make stupid decisions out at the track. Up at the top, exhaust ports. So you got tons of exhaust up on the top, right on the top of the helmet, which is awesome. These are not just for looks. This is engineered to work with the EPS inside of the helmet, and then more huge ventilation in the back. So it's really going to suck the air through this helmet. Large eye port, which is going to accommodate, the bigger goggles out there. The goggles keep growing. We have the massive signature V-Series mouth guard. The front of the Fox campus is actually designed to match this. It's massive over there. You can walk right through this thing. So that is cool. And then they do have small gills, nothing too dramatic in here, but just really good looking helmet from the outside. The visor, or the peak as we call it, is a 3-position adjustable visor with lots of that same kind of theme in terms of the design and the cutaways there, so that it flows air, it doesn't pull on your head at speed, which is what we are after. Okay, so 3-position. It's also meant to break away, and the hardware is like this anodized aluminum, which just kind of looks good. It's a nice touch. The rear, you got this big dramatic upsweep in the back, and we're gonna flip this helmet over now so you can see the inside. So the liner on both of them is their ionic, moisture-wicking, antibacterial liner. Looks a little different depending on which one you're looking into. This one. Sometimes they'll change the colors, but otherwise it's the same stuff is what I was getting at. So when we flip this over, D-ring closure, of course, and then you're gonna notice there are red pull tabs for emergency quick release if EMS has to gently remove you from a helmet. And then the blue is for hydration, hydration line going up to the front of this helmet. On the inside, they have that EPP liner for impact protection, and then you can clean out your mouth guard here on this side. So cheek pads are gonna come out. It is compatible with most comm systems. in here. There are speaker pockets that are actually cut out here. So you can take a peek in there. You see that speaker pocket just barely kind of peeking through. Then on the RS version, you get a one-of-a-kind setup here with carbon fiber D-rings. I don't think I've seen it before. Do they exist on other helmets? You guys can drop that to me in the comments. I haven't seen them, or I don't remember that I've seen them. But yeah, pretty badass. Why not? More carbon fiber. We're gonna pull out this whole ionic moisture wicking liner. Comfortable place to be, high-end liner. And then we'll show you the different Mips systems here. So washable liner, never put them in a washing machine or a dryer. That's gonna tear stuff up prematurely. You don't need to do that. Oh, that is a tight snap up front. The other thing, when you're removing a liner snap here, it's, sometimes they're really tight from the factory. This one sure is. And you wanna be careful not to just pull hard on it. You wanna kind of roll them out of place. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Get your finger in there as close to that male piece as you can and gently rock it out. Because if you just yank, you can pull the female side out of that EPS, and then you are in big trouble, my friend. That helmet is not gonna work right anymore, and it's not really something that's repairable. So you notice this is the Integra Mips system. So this piece of EPS here is separate from the outer EPS shell so that that can move on top of each other. This brown part is part of the EPS, and so there's a slick layer in between them. Same here. You notice why this is not finished with fabric or something. That is that Integra Mips liner. So this is going to perform a little bit better than that standard Mips liner, which we're going to show you in a minute. You can see all the ventilation, and porting here in the EPS. And then that other third-party piece of equipment in there is that eject system. So that is sold separately, but you have a place to install that eject system. And what that is an air bladder that installs on the top of your helmet, and it can be inflated by EPS. You end up having like a little valve down here. So if EMS has to inflate that to gently lift the helmet off your head instead of trying to pull it, that's what that eject system is for. Here's what the liner looks like. And yes, there are different size cheek pads, so you kind of can custom fit the fit in the face. Remember, when you're fitting a helmet, you want it to fit as snug as you can without causing pain or discomfort. Focus on the crown first, because the cheek pads can be adjusted. And sometimes it actually helps to remove the cheek pads from the helmet. Try it on with just the crown liner in, get a real good idea of how it's fitting across the top of your head, and then we can go from there. If you got questions, talk to our team. Okay, so this helmet, we've blown it up. Let's get it out of the way. I'm gonna show you this standard V3, what it looks like on the inside. Now this one is colored to match the graphic, but it is the same material. I just want to show you the difference in the Mips liner. Fox is giving you a 1-year warranty, which I think is a little anemic on a helmet of this price point. I know Alpine Stars is the same. Fox and Alpine Stars at 1 year is a little light, especially when you're spending this kind of money. I'd like to see that stepped up. So this shiny plastic shell is sitting on top of the EPS, and that's going to allow slip, and it's going to allow that liner to deal with some of those rotational forces that are coming through the helmet when you take a hit. So that's what it looks like. And yes, this one also has the eject system, or is eject system compatible. Again, sold separately, extra safety feature, especially if you're out the track. That is a grand idea. Okay, the Fox V3 and V3 RS, they're top tier helmets, bringing a lot to the table with that Mips protection, fiberglass, or the carbon fiber with this big carbon chip. And it looks like an AGV Pista. Pretty sweet looking. Available now at speedaddicts.com. And if you want to try one on in person, you're in SoCal. We got them here on our Epic helmet wall. Just come on down, check out the new Superstore. That's it for today. We'll see you next time on Speed Addicts TV.